What is Dolby Atmos? So Dolby Atmos is a fully immersive experience. It is something that you will have all experienced in the cinema. It's nothing new in that terms. What is new is how it's come into music. Dolby Atmos is now able to be streamed on platforms such as Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music. So we can now stream our music in Dolby Atmos, which brings it to the people. And what's great about it is that it doesn't require this massive state-of-the-art Dolby Atmos studio. All it requires is a pair of headphones. These headphones in particular. A pair of Apple Maxes, a pair of Apple AirPods, any headphones. We work in a 9.1.4 Dolby Atmos studio. That means 9 speakers all the way around us in a surround sound. 4 speakers around the top, and then 1 being our 2 subs up the front there. What we can then do, when working in Dolby Atmos, we can pick up certain sounds and move them around the room. So we can have a kick drum straight down the center. We can then have the snare in stereo, and then put the hi-hats here. We can physically make a drum kit, for instance, sound like it engulfs a room, rather than just playing out of 2 speakers here and here. We can now have everything coming out of multiple speakers. So we can have cymbals. They sit on top. They come out of the ceiling speakers. Cymbals are above you. The difference is astonishing. It really is. And when you stand in a room like this and listen to it, it's quite incredible. So what that achieves for us as engineers is we can mix with more space. We don't have to think just left and right when we pan. We now think front, back, left, right, up, down. We work in a real world situation. Life is 3D. You know, you listen to any sound you hear, it comes from different angles. It doesn't just come straight from there. It comes from everywhere. So that's what Dolby Atmos in music sense creates. You know, strings. We put strings or pads, put them behind us, float them around the back of us. You know, guitars. In the normal conventional sense of working in stereo, panning hard left, hard right. Nowadays, we pan hard left and hard right at here and here. You know, they're not just left and right there. They're actually physically hard left and hard right. We can then put another lead guitar up on top of us over here, have that engulf the top of the ceiling. It's an incredible way to mix. And what you can achieve with Dolby Atmos is unparalleled to anything that was possible in stereo. Now, how does Dolby Atmos benefit you as the client? Well, Dolby Atmos, the great thing about it is we can mix in a 3D space. By working in this 3D space, we can then create mixes that have far more separation. They are fully immersive, and they immerse the listener. And that, when you experience it, even just listening on a pair of headphones, listening out of a pair of stereo speakers, when you listen to Dolby Atmos, it captures everything that you want from a mix. It's fully immersive, and the way that it just translates to an audience is unbelievable. And it's really something you must experience. What we can do when working in Dolby Atmos is we can mix in Dolby Atmos, mix in this 3D space. And what we can do, fold that down into stereo. So when we fold down into stereo, what essentially that is binaural stereo. So it's still stereo. It is stereo. So it will play out of stereo speakers. It will play out of stereo headphones. It will play out of any device you normally use to play music. But one key feature is it's binaural. It retains all that immersive information. It retains that so that when you're listening to Dolby Atmos or binaural stereo, the difference between stereo and binaural stereo is Atmos is immersive, it's around here, it feels like it's around your head, whereas stereo just feels like it's here. It's in comparison very, I'm not going to say boring, but it's very, in comparison this is obviously, it lacks something, and that something is the immersive nature that you get from Dolby Atmos, and it uplifts you. And that, when you compare your song mixed in Dolby Atmos to someone else's song mixed in stereo, the instant reaction from the listener is, whoa. They honestly get taken aback by the fact that they're hearing this music played back to them in this immersive state that they never thought was possible. And it is quite mind-blowing how good it sounds in stereo. How you can achieve the best results possible working with us, working in Dolby Atmos, is you can have your mix mixed in Dolby Atmos. You can then select to have stereo mastering as well as Dolby Atmos mastering. Dolby Atmos mastering isn't essential. The only reason you would want Dolby Atmos mastering is if you want to physically release it as a Dolby Atmos ADM and have that kind of stamp of Dolby Atmos. You as the client are still benefiting from us mixing in Dolby Atmos, even when you're releasing in stereo. So when you select to have a stereo master, be it digital or analog, you are still having your track mixed in Dolby Atmos. The only difference being is that instead of printing a Dolby Atmos multi-channel ADM, we now fold that Dolby Atmos mix down into that stereo file, which is binaural, still retains all that information. Now, if you play that binaural mix, close your eyes, you will feel like sound is coming from around you. It's not 100% exactly like it is in here, because obviously we have physical speakers that play out. But when we select A to B, when we fold this mix down and go A, B, you can stand in this room and it literally just go and fold down. And you can still feel like sound is behind you, even though it technically isn't, even though it is just coming from two speakers. It's quite astonishing. So you as the client can select stereo mastering, add your digital mastering or add your analog mastering. But ultimately, what you then achieve is what is technically a stereo binaural mix that is then mastered, ready for release. Now that mix and that master can now be played by DJs. That master can now be uploaded to Spotify. That master can be put anywhere you want, just as it normally would. But the huge difference being that now it's immersive. It feels wide. It feels real. Your music feels like something you would have never experienced before. It sounds unbelievable.